What's up, guys? I hope you had a good day. Got a few different things I want to show you today. Obviously, hearing the news about Orlando is the best news of the week, so that is just awesome. He is going to recover just fine. I am super stoked about that, but got some stuff to show you here. Kind of random, different kind of stuff, but very cool. We will start out with this little kind of trivia bit. We'll look at 4 cards here. Here's a Harry Cheedy from 1962. That's actually a pretty clean copy. It's got a little printing spot, but pretty clean copy there. Then we have an 85 Brad Golden. Then we have an 88 Dickie Knowles, now with Tigers. Might be a little hint there. And then we have a 2007 Topps John McDonald. There are only 4 players in the history of Major League Baseball to do what these guys did. Do you have any idea what these 4 players have in common? It's very interesting. I was going to just get into all the teams and all the stories and all that kind of stuff, but the video would just get too long, so I'm just going to avoid that. But they all 4 have something in common, something very unique. There's been nearly 20,000 major leaguers. These are the only 4 to have this happen to them. If you don't know, I'll give you a couple seconds. If you know, you know. But Harry Cheedy was the first one. And then you had those 3 guys. But they are the only 4 guys out of 20,000 in Major League history to be traded for themselves. That's right. The only 4 guys in Major League history to be traded for themselves. They were all players to be named later in the trade, and they were the player that was sent back to the original team. So 4 guys traded for themselves: Harry Cheedy, Brad Golden, Dickie Knowles, and John McDonald. It's only happened 4 times. Very cool. I love the way that one says now with Tigers. But yeah, all these guys returned in the same trade later on to the team that they were traded from as the player to be named later. Super fun stuff. Love stuff like that. Love history like that. Next thing, I have a couple of runs that I've completed. One of these I haven't shown. The other one I've shown, but wasn't complete at the time. Now it is, and I'm super happy about it. So we're gonna look at it. But this first one is something I've been loving since I was a kid. And 85 Donruss has a few cards that were errors that were corrected. And that's the main kind of errors I like, is when they correct them or have variations where you can get both types. And it's just very interesting to me. But 85 Donruss had a few of them. And this is super cool. So Terry Pendleton, who was MVP in the league one year with the Braves, they had this Jeff Pendleton card. Now, it has been very difficult to even track down a high grade copy, so an 8 is what I have. But I had to at least get that. I was trying to get a run in 9s of all these, but some of these are super tough to find with the centering and the black borders. You could send them in all day long, and you know, this is as clean a copy as you'll ever see, and it's an 8. So it could probably be a 9 on a different day, but honestly, yeah. So Jeff Pendleton, that's actually Terry Pendleton, but then they did correct it, and I do have the 9. And I always liked this one a lot because it was his rookie card. So super cool. Just kind of like Bonds with that Johnny Ray card, which is that's a lot more expensive card. I used to have that. But Terry Pendleton, there's the corrected version and the error version. I do have the corrected version in the 9. But those were the first 2. I really love that because it's his rookie card. Then you got the Tom Seaver with the White Sox. And this is another one I had to settle for an 8. They are impossible to find in better grades. But Tom Seaver with Floyd Bannister on the photo. They don't even know what Tom Terrific looks like. Kind of crazy. But that's the Tom Seaver card that they messed up on. And then there's Tom Terrific. Now this one, I have a 10. Just the way it worked out, ended up with the PSA 10 on that one. This one's much harder to find. Much harder to find in nice condition. But that is the error card and the corrected. And I have the Tom Terrific in a PSA 10. So those two, and then the last two in the run I've been trying to get forever. Shout out to Keith, Lonely Basement. We got the two for the title. We got Dave Winfield and our guy, Don Mattingly. This is the white letters version, and it is the more common version. And I did get the double nines on these. But that one I finally got the yellow letters. Much tougher to find. And of course, with these black borders and stuff, it's hard to find nice nines in mint condition of any of these. But two for the title, one of my favorite cards as a kid. Super, super awesome. Donnie Baseball came right out of the gate in the major leagues, kicking butt. And these guys were going for the batting title on the same team, which was super cool. But yeah, so that's the white letters, which I've had for a long time. Not my childhood copy or anything, but then I finally got the yellow letters. So I was trying for a run in nines, ended up with 110 and a couple eights on the really, really tough ones. Who knows if I'll ever find nines that I'll be able to get on those, but if I do, I do. But at least I have the run now. I wanted these 6 cards. I wanted nice copies of them, not just raw. And that was the last one I needed right there. Finally got it, but super cool, man. Jeff Pendleton, Terry Pendleton. Got the names wrong. Seaver, the name is right, but the photo is wrong. And I think it's interesting that it kind of went from purple to blue at the bottom. I don't know why that changed. But then you got the white letters and the yellow letters there. That is just super, super cool. But that completes that run. Had to show that off since I finally completed it. Been wanting that for several years. And it's always nice to complete a run of anything. But this other run, 93 triple play nicknames, I've shown some of these before. But I finally completed the run in nines. This has been hard. This has been super hard. It's 10 cards. 10 cards in the set. You got the Big Hurt. I love the holographic up there at the top. It's just beautiful cards. I love nickname cards, as I've talked about before. Really cool backs on these. But Frank Thomas was number 1. Rocket, Roger Clemens, number 2. And the PSA 9. My guy Ryan Sandberg, Rhino. Love that card. And the PSA 9. Another one of my favorites, Will the Thrill. Look at that, man. That foil is on fire. I love the design of these. Just a nice little name with the slash at the bottom, and then you got the really bold nickname at the top. I think they did a great job on these. Then, of course, the big one, Ken Griffey Jr. And they went with Junior. He's got several nicknames, but they went with Junior on there. Super cool looking card. These are just awesome. Look at those. They just light up. Really, really do like this set a lot. It has been a long time trying to get this run in nines. And of course, I'm not sending anymore, but there's the Doc, Dwight Gooden. Some of these are pretty low population, but that there is the Doc. Then we got 4 more. One of them being the one that I finally got. But this set is so cool. Here's my favorite guy, of course, the Ryan Express. We got the Express there. PSA 9, just a beautiful card. Ryan looking awesome. That foil looking awesome. What a great card. Dion Prime Time Sanders. Also Neon Dion, but they went with Prime Time, which is a super cool card. Love that. Here's the one, number 9, that I finally got, that I only had raw. Really could never find a raw one that would have graded 9 anyways when I was sending them. The Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith, best fielding player ever. What a wonderful, wonderful card. Let's light up the Express there. Super cool card. And the last one, even though that Wizard is the last one I got, number 10, the Crime Dog, Fred McGriff. Of course, the old Crime Dog McGruff commercials is where he got that from. For the kids that don't remember those days. But that's it. The whole 10 card run in 9s. Perfect run. Don't ever have to change this one. Don't ever have to upgrade anything. These don't have any refractor lines. They're all PSA 9s. This is a permanent set now. 1 through 10. And I couldn't be more thrilled. Once again, just when you're doing something for years, you finally complete something. It is super satisfying. One of the great parts of the hobby is completing something, and I absolutely love it. A couple more things here. We got a couple of photographs. Mr. Molinari had a couple more that he found, and I, of course, snagged them. Kind of crazy because what they are, but one's perfect for Mookie, one is perfect for me. So I bought them both. I will be sending one of these to Mookie, and these are beautiful. So this one here, obviously, 80s Mets. And you got Stottlemyre. And you got, this is actually Frank Howard right here. He was the hitting coach. And then Johnson. And then Bobby Valentine's actually right there. He didn't write that on there, but all 4 of those Metsies sitting there. Just a wonderful shot. I love it. I will definitely send one of those to the Mookster. And then this one is for me. And that is Nolan Ryan in the middle. You got Dennis Meeke and Matt Galani, Stretch Suba, a bunch of the guys from back in the day. This was a Hall of Fame game. And he took this shot. And you got Nolan right there in the center talking to Dennis Meeke. Very cool. So 2 photographs he found. One of them is perfect for me. One of them is perfect for Mookie. So definitely had to pick those up. I love this kind of history because it's basically one-of-a-kind stuff. And, you know, photos we don't see every day because the guy took them that, you know, they didn't get in any magazines or on any cards or anything like that. So I absolutely love that kind of thing, as you know. The last thing is some slides, and these are really, really cool. I absolutely love these. One-of-one type of items. These are Nolan Ryan, and they are super cool. So we'll see if we can get this to focus. I actually got a few different ones of these. I will be sending a couple of them to some friends, which is always fun. But these are original photograph slides from the 70s with the Angels, which makes these really special. They are just the slides like this that fit perfect in these Bowman sleeves and then in my slab. And then there you go. So Nolan in the 70s with the Angels getting interviewed in the dugout. So there he is, hat propped up, getting interviewed in the dugout in the 1970s with the Angels. Super cool. That's one of the ones I am keeping. And there is one other I will show you here. It is just beautiful. Look at that. Super, super cool. We got some 50-year-old original photograph slides of Nolan Ryan with the Angels. I thought about it. I'm probably gonna at some point take all these original slides that I have, or one of ones, and make photographs out of them, and maybe even take some of them the next step and get one of those custom baseball cards made out of the photos. I think that would be a really cool project to do with some of these. Make baseball cards out of some of these original slides and photos that never were made into a card or anything. And we've talked about, you know, slides that make cards and stuff like that. And then that one time I did show you a slide from ESPN that would have been used to throw up on the screen on TV. And their TV slides are super cool. And this one here is really, really awesome. So this is 1978 with the California Angels. I have that ESPN slide from the Rangers days, but this is way back in 78. So what would have happened back in the non-digital days is they would have gotten something like this box here at the stations, and this is for ABC's Monday Night Baseball from 1978. You can see that well-worn box and all the slides inside. That's what the box would have looked like that the stations would have gotten. And then they would have gotten sheets like this detailing the player, the team, the number, the corresponding number, and then what position. So that they would be able to tell, American League and National League, they would have been able to tell what to talk about with the player, what position they played, who they're with, all that kind of stuff. So they would have information, and they would use the slide to pop a picture of the player up on the screen, which is super, super cool. And this is the 1978 Nolan Ryan from ABC's Monday Night Baseball slides. Here is the slide itself. Super, super cool. These just don't come up all the time. And this thing is a beauty. I will definitely be getting some high quality photos made of this. But this is amazing. Nolan Ryan with the Angels, 1978. You can see they have the number there. Nolan Ryan, pitcher. They wrote 78 on this one. California Angels. And look at that beauty of a photo. That is spectacular. I've got to turn this into some awesome photo and make a baseball card out of it. It's going to be a super fun project. But that would have been used at the station in 1978. That is a long time ago, folks. ABC's Monday Night Baseball. I would have been 3 years old. But what a beautiful shot. Him staring, smiling. That's just a great one. So that's it. That is my ultimate slide of Nolan Ryan. It's the best one I've ever seen, ever found, with some context for you. But that thing is really beautiful, and I'm super, super happy to have it. But that's it, guys. We looked at some Oddity. We looked at some photographs, a couple runs I finished, and then some awesome slides of the man, Nolan Ryan. Hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next one.